Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess. Today we are at the yet another example of first steps in planning. Through this lesson we try to understand how to convert a winning position to a win. In this we will take it a bit further. We will try to first identify what white should play over here and the resulting position that he gets, whether it is winning or not. We will start from there. So do spend some time to calculate first and then we will get down to our actual theme. I will tell you soon now. So here see, white sees that most of his pieces other than the A1 rook are developed. Black still hasn't connected his rook, G8 knight yet to come, plus the move is his. So white looks at some tactical possibility. He saw that Na7 check is possible. Most of you must have seen that. But after Na7, Kb8, Nb5 is totally wrong, because after C6, if B5 moves, D4 would be taken and white would lose a piece. So white thought that why not go Na7, Kb8, knight C6 check and win this rook for two knights. But the problem is, see, if white will get these two pawns and the rook versus two knights. So rook versus two pieces position is what we are trying to discuss and analyze today. Generally, rook and two pawns versus two pieces, rook and two pawns will be rarely worse, especially in the end game. So white goes with C, knight takes h7, kb8, knight c6 check, pawn takes knight, knight c6, king c8 forced, knight d8, kd8. So white rightly assumes or assesses this position as clearly better for him, because see, both rooks are on the open file, king will attain a good place, and see, there is going to be at least one passer right now, and in future b pawn will become passer. Two knights become the weakest pair against rook. See, bishop and knight is a far better option, and in open positions two bishops are considered even stronger. Although there is an exception here, if two knights are there and the position is closed, then the position will favor two knights. So now white goes with rook d1 check. From here on we see superb technique demonstrated by white, how he converts his clearly better position to a win. So that is what this whole chapter is about. Now see, king c8 was the more logical choice actually, but maybe black would have thought after kf3 it's hard to move this knight, nf6 allows re7, and of course we cannot allow black to take third pawn. But still, king is better placed on c8, it is easier to take it to the side where white wants a passed pawn. Black went ke8, now one would play the move king f3 instantly. White saw the very strong move kd3. The idea is, see, great, the king is coming to c4, which will keep this knight under check. Best position for the king against the knight, leaving one square diagonally away, and it will aid his own passed pawns also. So knight e7, black had this in mind, kc4, and now black goes h5. Idea is simple, the rook wants to get activated from h6. White goes rook d3, another good move, threatening rook e3. White is never giving black chance to coordinate his pieces. Black goes nb8, rook e3, knight d c6. Protects the knight somehow, and white starts pressurizing black now. Good move b4. Simple, threat being b5 and the knight would be taken. Black goes f6. Interesting move. If now b5, then knight e5 check and the knight blocks the e5 somehow. White goes f4, protecting the e5 square, and here black goes kf7. What would you play as white over here? It would be totally incorrect if you are playing the move b5. This is what black has set as a trap here. After b5, black has seen the deadly, you can say, knight a5 check. The point is that if king b4 trying to get the two knights back for the rook with the nd5 check, king a5 thinking knight e3, rook e3 and two pawns of winning, there is the dangerous rook a8 checkmate on the spot. See, these are the type of things that stronger players always try. They never give up. Whatever tactical chance they can generate, they play for it. Of course, I forgot to mention a player like Tarash is white, misses is black, will not fall for such a thing. After b5, na5, we can see that if king c5 is played, then also nb7 check. The knight is improved, the king is struggling now. K c4 will allow nd6 check, kd4 loses to nf5, kb4 loses to nd5 check. So white had to avoid this trap. So Tarash rightly goes with his pluses. He plays a4. Idea is simple. He wants to advance this first pawn. Rook b8. White goes c3, protects the b3 pawn and the square. He doesn't want to push b5 prematurely. Black goes rook d8. Rook's job on b8 square is over. And now white plays another technically absolutely correct move. See rook d3. This is a typical technique when we try to trade pieces in a materially superior position. Why we want to trade pieces? Because the only active rook will be traded and what would remain is rook and these two pawns against two knights. The a pawn is very dangerous. We know as a rule that rook pawn passer is very dangerous against a knight. And here see the trap is simple. If black trades well and good, white gets what he wants, and if the rook moves, then the rook enters the 7th rank. So this kind of double attack ideas are very important when we want to force an exchange. So black had to take rook d3, kd3, black goes ke8. King is heading towards the b7 square. a5, kd7, a6, knight d5. Now both knights want to use the a7 and the b6 square as blockade for these b and a passed pawns. Blockade means when we try to place a piece in front of a pawn, we stop it from moving. Any piece which we want to fix, especially the pawns. So here see f4 is attacked. White sets a small trap. Rook a1, ignoring nf4 because king e4. Now knight g2, then a7, knight a7, rook a7. White would win easily. So knight a7 forced, and now just g3 protects f4. Now this knight has nowhere good to go. Black goes c6. White wants to go c4, b5, but now b4 is hanging after c4. So rook a4, useful move, threatening c4. Black goes nb6, attacking the rook, and as a rule, the attacked piece should try to counter attack and regain the tempo. So see, rook a5 would move, attacks h5. After g6, again the move is white. So white has c4. Knight b8. The knights will wait and see what the pawns and rooks are about to do. White's plan is simple. He wants to play b5. Now the a5 rook is doing nothing. White arranges the rook in a better way. Firstly, see the rook sits behind the passed pawn. When its job is over to cramp one of the enemy piece, then rook shifts to one of the open file, which is most ideal for him. This is what white does here. Rook a1. Rook is heading to the e file, which file will be more away from the black king. We will see how. And to play b5, white will use his king. Black goes nd6, kd4, knight dc8. Black just waits. kc5, kc7 and re1. The final waiting move. Now white is all set to go b5. He could have played b5 before also, but see, this is a masterclass player. He has seen a combination already. Black waits, goes nb6, and now white uses the tactic re7. Of course, he doesn't want to move the king after nd7 check. So after nd7, rook takes b7, king takes d7. Black resigned after rook d7. I hope you must have figured out. White has two ways actually. One is the simple b5. After cb, ab, we see that kc7 loses to b6 check. nc8, b6, and the knight struggles. a7 and b7 both are threats. King c8, then the b6 knight is trapped. So this is a very simple way for white to win. And the second option would be c kb6. This looks more risky. nc8, kb7, knight d6 check, king b8, knight takes c4, a7. The knight tries to come timely to b6, king b7. But these kind of attempts are more risky. Some must have noted that black has the move na8, when after king a8, kc7, it will be the white king who will be caught up, and maybe black ends up winning the game suddenly. So these are the risks, so precise calculation is required. That is why the move b5 would have won for white. That is one of the main reasons I tell all my students to never resign. See, such a thing can happen at lower level at least. These things can happen even at higher rated games also. So I hope you must have got something interesting in the position. We will be covering some more cases of planning in future. Do let me know how you found the lesson in the comments below. Thanks for listening.